introduce this day. Neil, you read out of Revelation. It is very tricky to understand. I don't know what Cornelius is either. I barely know what Jasper is. So we are going to be reading about that and just really opening up the awe and wonder of what's to come. Most of us, and I think this group is our eyes see the moon and we think that's the only way there is. But when the real light of God comes, then we're like, oh, wow. And we get to see children. So, Father, pray again now. Would you just come into this room and just change this environment? Would you just be like a permit filter? And anything that's not of you, would you just hold on to that? Would you just expel that from the air that we get to breathe right now? Father, we just call upon your spirit as well. Be with the women of Camp Iowa. May there be your spirit of healing, love, and life. And the beautiful thing about God's Spirit, I just recall the words of Jesus. Imagine your best friend. Has your best friend ever left you? Like, I'm going on a trip. No one's ever had that happen. We left Canada, and we ended up in Indonesia. And then we had the whole ecosystem of friends. And then my parents took us to, where did you take us down? Pizza Hut. And he said, we're leaving and going back to Canada. And then we were crying, we were sad. And then we get to Canada and we hang out and we're like, oh, wow, there's candy and snow and I love Canada. And then we got another trip to Pizza Hut. They said, okay, we're going back to Indonesia. And we're like, no, we have our friends here. What are you doing to us? I remember I'm the kid that I got allowance, a little bit of allowance. And in Indonesia, there's no real candy, sugar cane, but there's no candy. And so I was the kid that we could bring back stuff. So I used all my allowance to buy bubble gum, to buy the candy at the candy store and bring it. And I ran out in like 2 months. And it was going to re up in Canada. Hurting. Um, but I remember the pain of putting the roots down and then having to leave and just being so like broken as a little kid. What, what, ah! And then you reestablish. It's good. We should keep people on the place. But that's what happened to Jesus. And Jesus said and they went to Pizza Hut, and he said to his disciples, I'm going to leave. And and he said, but I have to leave so that if I'm here, I can only be I'm still a physical being. I'm just like you. But when I leave, the spirit of God is going to come over the earth. And that's what we get to tap into. And with COVID, I've met people in San Diego, California, every part of the United States, England, Pakistan, India, Australia, and they all have the same spirit. I find that so cool. That all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you have a peace. That's what God has solved all of your problems just like He solved. Wow. And it's like we're like BFFs all of a sudden. So I think that's really cool. Um, way to start this day is just we are all family and we are all connected as God's children if you have the Spirit of God residing in you. Um, so we're in Matthew. If you have your Bible, turn to page 22. Otherwise, the text will be here. If you need a Bible or want a Bible, I would love to acquire one for you to come and see me. So we were looking at the mission. And so many times, one of the number one question probably asked is like, what's the point of this? What's the point of life? What's the point of like, why am I here? What's the higher purpose? Is it just to work 9 to 5 and to get set for retirement and then what? Oh yeah, we go to where do we go? Florida. I think there's more Canadians in Florida than Floridians, and it's like, is that the master plan? And what we really all desire is a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, a sense of belonging. And so that's kind of what we've been getting into in this latter part of Matthew is really what the mission is. And so we kind of related to being on the cruise liner. No pork chops. And Nana went on a cruise way back to Alaska, and she said we could have pork chops at any hour. It was beautiful. No, that you did. 2 in the morning. And it's that's not just to feed yourself, to just enjoy life all the time. There's some real meaning behind it. I know that if you have kids, there's a lot of purpose and meaning in the beginning of their lives, and it's just overwhelming. Like there's a lot of attention that you have to give these little people so that they live, and then the latter years is so that you don't kill them. And so there's this intensity of your whole life is in it. When you're on the PTA, you go to the meet the teachers, and you're like, oh wow, the teachers are really young, they're younger than me. And I always thought teachers were old, and then they get into high school. And high school is I remember my son was in the hospital for 15 years, and then he retired right at the age of 21. Junior hockey was over. He was like, man, that was and I think so many of us get to this part of our lives what is the point of all this? So Jesus is out to bring his kingdom here on earth, and we get to be a part of it right now. And so we go from the liner to the battleship. That's what the mission is. The mission is the heart of man. And so Jesus is addressing religion we kind of talked about as being spiritual practices and living by spiritual principles without the power of God. And Jesus flips tables in the temple and he destroys food. He curses the fig tree. And then he says, we can throw this mouth into the sea by the power of God. And he's not saying, oh, you can do whatever you want by my power. He's saying, he's looking up at the Temple Mountain and the religious structures, and he's saying, by my power and by my relationship, you can cast all of that into the sea. And so then he was challenged by the religious. And so we've transitioned and we live in this story right now. Where it was the rule book. Rule book like the rule book because it's a bunch of checklists. But Jesus is switching it up and going, this rule book is great. Also, but we have a story book for you to be a part of. And then there was 3 challenges Jesus gave. Does anybody remember the challenges? Number 1, there was the parable of 2 sons, and it was all about Jesus going, the kingdom of God. We are like this. We don't want to really change. There's a messenger that comes to us. There's a spiritual conviction of like, I want more. I want a relationship with God. I'm on the bridge of insanity. I'm on the bridge of addiction and insanity. I'm on the bridge of insanity that I can run my life, and I want a new life. And that's moving from that bridge going to the shore of faith. And either I am or I'm not. And the obedience part is I want to obey. Have I, and this was being able to change my mind, change my direction. And then he shares another challenge, another parable, and he talks about the vineyard. And so the vineyard being the final authority of God. This is God's vineyard. The question behind all human behavior is who has the final authority in my own vineyard? And number 3, Neil, you did that one. And he spoke to them again in the parable of the wedding. We're all invited to go to the wedding. There was a couple people that showed up. One guy kind of showed up at the wrong place. If anybody showed up and you were in the wrong place, has anybody done that? It's super awkward. I've done that in a school setting. I went to school in college. I did that. you ever been invited into something and you haven't been prepared? Maybe it's a sport. My friend Junior, he started playing men's league hockey, and I think he had his first game this week. And his wife sent me a picture going, I didn't realize how much of a workout this would be for me because I'm laughing because Junior's puking on I don't know if he's puking on this, but I don't know if he was prepared like he were in the junior days. I think he didn't have to win, and have you been somewhere where you haven't been prepared? And so the challenge is you're all invited, but on God's terms. One of the first was not in wedding clothes. We'll talk about that later. We were invited to the challenge to be perfect as your fathers, be holy as I am. So now we have three challenges. We have three challenges, and now we have three challenges. How do you react to challenge? You like it? Personally, and then usually, speak for myself. But there's typically a listening, there's a response inside, and then you say, yeah, but, right? Yeah, but, that's easy for that. And we express something listening with all of the things we listen. And I kind of get offended a little bit, and then I say, and I make that excuse. How about, maybe some of us can relate to COVID, and gaining a little bit of weight. COVID's over. And I've been challenged to lose a little bit of weight, do some exercise. And I'm like, yeah, but now I'm busy. COVID's over. It's just, it's a challenge. Challenges are easy. That's the point. How about addiction? Have you been addicted? Have you been challenged over your addiction, over your lifestyle, over your unhealthy relationship? So the first test was about the Pharisees and the Herodians. So it was, one was the law people, and one was the rule book people, and then one was the political people, so the Herodians. So the first yeah but was a political test. And so they said, they said to Jesus, should we pay? So either you're on the battleship or you're not. And then they're like, yeah, but you bring that life into this. Like, yeah, yeah, but this is wrong. You're serious. Like, either it is everything or it's nothing. Come on, yeah, but. Uh, like, you're asking me to leave it, lay it down, and someone, yeah, but. Should we pay taxes? And then he says, you have starts with that. So he sets them up that way, which is kind of hilarious. He already said you're going to be, like, he called them hypocrite. They're like, a little bit rude. And so he says, give me a coin. And so they're like, the Herodians are like, and right there, Abe says to Kim, come on, don't give him the coin. They weren't supposed to carry the coins because the coin had a graven image on it. It was illegal to have that coin with them because they would be, they weren't allowed to carry idols or graven images of another god. And so right there, they were so used to carrying them around and giving to Caesar what Caesar. I find it's very easy to give to Caesar. We do it all the time. Our community, our society is set up to give to Caesar. This breaks at a certain amount of time. It's called consumerism. We work to give to Caesar because our lives, our world is set up and structured to give to Caesar. Is your world structured to give to God? And so he said, give to God, give to Caesar what's Caesar? All of this worldly stuff, and give to God what's God. What's God? Me. I'm made in His image. I give myself all to Him. Is my world structured to give to God or to Caesar? So now we got test number two, which is the Sadducees. They were kind of like the high priests. They were what would be the smart people, I guess. They would be the theologians. So they take all this information, make it, and make theology, make assumptions about God and how to live, and one will be the Pharisee test and will be the law. So when I read this, this is like some of us. Some of us are really smart. And we're like, all of a sudden, we're being convicted or challenged over this part of our life. And we go, yeah, but do dogs go to heaven? And it's like this emotion because I think these things. And it's like, this is what the test is. It's like, now they're going to throw a curveball at them and totally sidetrack them. And they say, Jesus, this is ridiculous because they were the Sadducees and they didn't believe in the resurrection. So they believe high family value and how we live is to keep the family line going on, and your kids are going to do what I did, and then they're going to pass it on. And this is how eternity is going to come out of our family line. There's no resurrection. When we die, we die. We, but I live through you, and you live through the kids and the kids and the kids, and we get passed on. That was their theology. And they live out of this part of the Bible. So the Word of God this is the Word of God. In John, it says this is breathed into existence, the Word of God, breathed before all things. And so this is how I become into relationship with Him. I don't worship the Word of God, I worship the one who breathed it into existence. But at the same time, they only use a little bit of the Bible. They use the first five books, which is called, he said, there was eight. The Torah is the first five books of the Bible, or the Pentateuch, right? Is that right? Jordan, is that right? Don't go that far in Bible study. Pentateuch. And so they just lived out of that, and their theology kind of revolved around that. So this is how their mindset is, and Jesus is talking about this new life, this new resurrection, this whole different theology. Jesus is coming against everything that they have been doing. Um, so on Matthew 22, verse 28. Okay, if you're like me, there's going to be 100 questions that you have. So I'm going to do that's not the point. But you'll probably have a lot of questions. So it's a bit of a twist of the same day. Okay, that same day, the Sadducees who say there is no resurrection came to him with a question. Teacher, they said, Moses told us that if a man dies without having children, his brother must marry the widow and raise up offspring for them. Now there were seven brothers among us. The first one married and died. Since he had no children, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second and the third, right down to the seventh. Finally, the woman died. Now then, at the resurrection, whose place will she keep? The seven? Of the seven, since all of them were married to her. I think that Jesus, this is silly. The resurrection thing, theology doesn't even make sense. Look how bizarre, like, and Jesus says, you are in error because you do not know the scriptures or the power of God. Ouch. At the resurrection, people will neither be married nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. But about the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what God said to you? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Is he not the God of the dead? He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. When the crowds heard this, they were astonished at his teaching. So we had this pop quiz, and Jesus nails it home really quick. Um, you are in error because you do not know the scriptures. Right there, he challenges their intellect and their reasoning behind why they believe what they believe. And he hints that they don't know the power of God. In chapter 24 of Matthew. They talk. Jesus is talking about marriage or being given in marriage is of this. But concerning him coming back, even the angels don't know the hour or the day. So there's a lot of mystery here with the resurrection. I don't think we get a clear picture. Like I said at the beginning, we see the moon and know that's light, but there's a lot more light, a lot more information to come. But Jesus is coming back. That's one thing that we have in certainty. In Revelation 1, verse 7, look, he's coming with the clouds, every eye will see him, even those who pierce him. So Revelations is kind of like the end, the giveaway. Start at Genesis. If you're like me, you just want to see what happens at the end, the middle part. But start at Genesis, and then when you get to Revelation, still won't know what's really going on. But there's some hints there. I've studied this with two different pastors. One pastor who did it twice. And there's so much in text in it because the old breaks the new. It's fascinating. In Luke 20, the account, Luke sees this and writes it a little bit different. He says neither Mary or was given in marriage will no longer die like angels, but are children of the resurrection. Marriage and procreation belong to the age of death. We will be like angels. Who wants to be like an angel? I don't even know what that really means. But I, God created man. God created a human being. And in the physical realm, he said, I want them to create just like me. And so he split them, and male and female became a thing. But at the resurrection, basically, he's going to change that, and we're going to be like angels. So there's a lot of substance in there, but we're not going to die. Things are going to change, and I believe that we have this highest form of connection, and maybe it's an ideology about family. I think we still have it, but I believe that the enemy is really coming against family values. If you live in a different part of the world, the younger people take care of the older people. They live together. They live in a lot closer together. In Canada, North America, places in Australia, Europe, we're kind of losing our family values. We have very small amounts of family. But we have this ideology of marriage and children and sex is a very high standard of connection. And here Jesus is saying that this isn't even going to be, this is going to be something better. You won't even lose this. Some of you right now are going like, and some of you, you're like, what do you mean? Yeah, no, I'm going to be married. All dogs go to heaven, and I'll continue to be married to my special person for the rest of our lives in eternity. God has a better plan. For us to be connected in eternity in a new world and a new creation. And so, 2 Corinthians 11:2, Paul says, I promise you to one husband in Christ that I may I am ready that this is Jesus because I somehow be led astray hear the wisdom of Christ. Talking about things that are going to be different and new. He's not going to create a whole new um, way of living. He's going to create a newness on the earth that's physically, spiritual, and emotional. We're not going to be zapped away to some fairy land that we might have seen in movies, wild things, little people with parents, including love, whatever it is. God's actually it's going to be cool, and we're going to encounter this in Revelation, but God's going to actually bring a new city, a new earth into what we already have. And I think that's pretty cool. There's not going to be disease. There's not going to be hurt and pain. And he's going to wipe every tear. And that's what it says in Revelations. And so going back to the very end where he says it's the God of the living. Um, he says,
I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the living, but of the dead. And he says, I am not was. And so these people are the Old Testament people, and that's where the Torah was. That's where the stories of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were. And so Jesus is saying that they're still alive. They're not dead. They're not deceased. They're not gone. I am their God. This is the recount of the burning bush. And so I think Jesus gave us a little hint in the Bible what happens after 3 days when he gave his life on the cross. He can't, he went to his tomb, he wasn't there. And then what happened? People saw him, they were freaked out, but he was still physical. Remember, he went to Thomas, hey, you doubted. Here, touch my hands. And so he kind of gave us a glimpse of what's going to come, but it's going to be new. We're going to be a little bit different. We're going to be like superhumans. I can't wait. But we're not going to be married. And so this account of the new city, John sees this in a vision and he was told to write it down. So this is the ending of the good news. He sees this new Jerusalem coming down. Jerusalem actually meant the city of peace. They called it Zion. Some would say it's the abiding place of God, that in definition. And so John recounts it. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first time, heaven and the first earth had passed away. So the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. There was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem coming down out from heaven. God, from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard in a loud voice from the throne saying, look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his holy people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. For old orders of things have passed away. He who is seated on the throne says, I am making everything new. This exact wording right out of Isaiah, from the prophet Isaiah, in Isaiah 65 and Isaiah 25. Think of this kind of fascinating. Heaven is for real. In Revelation 21, 6, again, John recounts as he's watching this vision, beauty, I'm so grateful for. It is done. He said to me, it is done. I'm the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water without cost, from the spring of the water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all of this. I will be their God, and they will be my children. Verse 10. He showed me this holy city, Jerusalem, coming down out of from heaven from God. It shone with the glory of God, and its brilliance was like that of the very precious steel of jasper, clear as crystal. Verse 22. I did not see a temple in the city, because the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are its temple. The city does not need sun or the moon to shine on it. The glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is its lamp. The nations will walk by light, and the kings of the earth will bring their splendor into it. On no day will its gates ever be shut, for there will be no night there. The glory and honor of the nations will be brought into it. Nothing impure will ever enter it, nor will anyone who does what is shameful or deceitful, but only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life. And that's what this life is for. It's join the battleship, join the mission. And it's for a very short amount of time. It's either you are or you aren't. You'll be deceived. And the last verse, it says, after they heard the answer of this test, they were astonished. Astonished. When was the last time you were astonished? I don't really know what it means. But astonished means like you might fall off your chair. Like, wow. Wow. Like there are people in my life that I thought I would never see them again due to their addiction, and they come in, and there are people in this room that are working at church for the
don't get it. What happened to the other 40 that were before him? Right? And it just astonishes me to know that God's Spirit can transform somebody's life just like He did me. Are you astonished? Are you astonished to get up in the morning and read the Bible and get tons of worship and prayer? And you know what? It's foolishness if you're not being guided by the Spirit of God. Because then it's just like, I need to watch the news. I need to get tuned up. I got to get out to work. I got to get out the door. Do you study this? Does your thoughts revolve around His teaching and the time that you get to spend with Him in His Spirit? A side effect of being connected to the Spirit is living in this astonishment of growing in your spiritual capacity and growing in your relationship. My partner that I'm married to, Vicky, we're not going to be married forever. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's not a secret that we've had this massive spiritual experience in the last 3 years that went into COVID, and I've seen this woman transform in front of my eyes. There's been a new woman that I'm getting to know, and this new woman has this passion for the Bible, and I'm like, man, you're listening like in the car. I've got Bible school, Bible project school. And it's like we go to bed and we listen to the Bible. I'm like, okay, Bible. She enrolled in Bible school. She never made out. She's like, no, I'm going to do it. And she's in Bible school, and she's learning about the Levitical law, and like the way they made the tabernacle, and as they exited Egypt, and the tabernacle was a representation of the Garden of Eden, and that the garden, and then she's like, oh, but the temple is in here. And that's what she's talking about. And she has the LifeLab, and that helps, that brings guys people into a relationship with God that should astonish you. And she's in battleship. She's going away to a conference. She's going, I'm going to put a sign up sheet for LifeLab. Well, what are you doing about it? When are you going to run another? If you want to run another LifeLab, you're sick. Stop it. It's just like, I'll do it in the daytime sometimes. So, isn't that what the work is? So excited. Are you excited to have a relationship with God? Are you astonished with God? Are you astonished by that you can have a relationship with the Spirit of God? It gives you a new propulsion, a new desire. He's not going to change what you do, but He's going to change what you want to do. Is this a relationship that you have with God, or are you just working a tech box? Are you just trying to fit the cruise liner into the, are you trying to put a little battleship into the cruise liner life? Wherever you're at. Side effects of being astonished by the Spirit of God in your own life. I don't have fear of dying. Another side effect, nothing in this world has to offer is good enough. Because if I'm going to the things of this world, love is consensual. And God will say, hey, if you want to go into that, I'll let you. I'm not going to force you. If you want to do those things, but it's either it's me or nothing. Are you on the cruise liner or the battleship? Or are you astonished or in the, yeah, but? Are you on the bridge of insanity saying I can still run my life? Or
Are you astonished on the shore of faith? I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, God's just lighting up your imagination. I could do 3 Life Labs. She'll probably get so many people, she'll have to split them up. Now I'm going to look bad. I only got 5 people in mind. Neil only had 3. Jokes. And the rest of the work, my work is to be in spirit with God. My job is to watch out for the enemy always coming at me just like that. And it's no joke because the enemy wants to control your mind. The enemy's going to go, oh, Vicky's on fire. What happened to you? Oh, you're just smoldering embers. You only have 8 people that you're in. Oh my goodness. She's doing all this. And I start to feel insecure. Right? And there's the enemy coming in like a serpent going, you got to prove yourself. You got to do better. But my relationship with God keeps me content and satisfied and at peace. And that's available for everyone here today. So, where are we for time? Like, I bring up my phone to time myself, and I never do it. But I get to see the replay and go, oh, that's a long time. Sorry. Neil, it's like, come on, Neil. It's your job. You're up. Father, man, if you want to stand right now, if you want to be astonished, if you want to quit the yeah buts, if you want to shake off the cruise liner and go, yeah, that's not a life. If you want to join the battleship, would you just stand with me? And I know that it's nothing that you're going to do except have this willingness to stand and go,